Hello. Got mixed up there. Hit the wrong thing. How are we looking here? Hello and welcome to the Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss usually whatever we want to talk about. We got a fun topic today, I think, or we're revisiting a topic, if I can actually say correctly. But hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. Who's that? Dragoon, Grant, R-Wings, Diego, Elements, Rocks, Aqua, Minion, Elements again, or Elements the first time, yeah. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping in to hang out. Lizard, what's going on? I hope everybody's having a good week. I hope everybody is enjoying themselves. It's been a little bit of a rough week over here. Not awful. Just just sort of blah. You know what I mean? Before we get started, I'd like to remind everybody that this episode is not brought to you by Diet Coke. Diet Coke, they had nothing to do with this. But I normally keep my soda here, but I hate the idea of having a drink up where all of this stuff is. I really need to build like cup holders or something. Crystal Pepsi. I do have a bottle. Our bottle of Crystal Pepsi from the convention is actually in my refrigerator. That was going to be my sponsor, but it would mean that I have to drink the Crystal Pepsi, and I kind of don't want to drink it yet. I kind of like opening my fridge and seeing that it's sitting there. Spectre, what's going on? Yeah. I wasn't sure if I was going to do. I may get. Would be sick if it was sponsored. Oh my God, Diego! If it was sponsored, I would have a stream deck by now. I am accepting sponsors. If anybody out there happens to look, 6 degrees of separation dictates that I should have access to some very powerful people. So if this spreads well enough, I should be able to reach somebody in some marketing department somewhere. The camera quality. So, is the camera quality clean? Am I doing okay? Or is it bad and you're making fun of me? Because I can't really tell here. Every single time I open up OBS. Thank you for the host, Lady Foxheart. Every time I open up OBS, it resets some of my camera settings, especially my focus. My focus always resets. Think of responses. I don't know how they made that. I can just say golden eye. Oh, we'll talk about that, Rock. I saw you mention that before. I didn't actually see that. If I find anyone, I know it is clean. Oh, really? There's just more light in the shot. Yeah, I got the light coming in from in here. I usually close the shade. I normally close this shade. I have a thing here to come down, a curtain, like a curtain that I sort of made to block out all of the light. And then I have another one back here where I block out all the light. That way I can control the light fully with my lights that are in here. But I can't help but when the light filters in through yonder window breaks. But it helps. It's just it strongly lights one side. Nice crisp, nice quality. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to try and do that. He controls the light. He is Jesus. Only that one time. And to be fair, Jesus isn't the one that controlled the light. All right. I wanted to, I shared this the other day, but I want to share this just in case anybody is new here. And since this goes up on YouTube, and hello to everybody who watches on YouTube. I don't say hello to the YouTube people enough, assuming that there are any YouTube people there. And it's not just everybody that comes here on Twitch and just rewatches it on YouTube. I figure I'll talk about that for a little bit. We went to last weekend. We did not have a show because we went to AVGC, a video game convention, up in Secaucus, New Jersey. It was the 3rd year for the convention, but the first time that it was in Secaucus. Before it was in Parsippany, and it was like a police athletic league center. It was essentially Parry Cat. Thank you for the host. it was essentially 2 giant gymnasiums, and I throw the term giant around loosely. It was unpleasant. This year the convention was fine. It's just the venue was horrible because it was so busy, but it was so small. This year it was nice. It was big and spacious. It was very nice. It was fun. We stayed up there for a couple of days. So you went to your first convention? Yeah, Aqua. Definitely not my first convention. I want to make sure that I'm not missing stuff here. Host club. So we went up there. It was a good time. It was a good convention. It was smaller than I was expecting it to be, which is okay. I do like it a little busier, but I am excited to see that convention grow. It's one of those things that I know it's going to get bigger, and I can't wait to see it when it does. Ken got leaked for Ultimate? What? Oh, never mind. It was not, but okay. Yeah. Oh, no, Aqua, no, that's not my first convention. I actually have a video. If you go through my other videos, me talking about stuff, I have a playlist on YouTube called Me Talking About Stuff. I did one where I did convention tips, where it talks about if you're going to a convention, things that you need to look out for, things that you should bring with you, not bring with you. It's pretty good. Well, if I do say so myself, which I do say so myself. But it was a good convention. But I picked up a few things. I picked up the box for Mystic Quest. I don't actually have it over here. So that game is complete now. I have the box. The box is a little rough, but it's okay. I also picked up the box for Super Mario 2. So I that box it's like missing a tab, but the box itself is in really good shape. So I picked up those boxes. I am at a point in collecting where I would go to a convention if there was a vendor there selling nothing but boxes, but original boxes. I would come out of there with nothing but a box of boxes. I love buying games, but I'm at the point where I feel like I have most of what I want. I would rather buy boxes and manuals to complete my games. I also bought these things I have right here. I'll save those two for last. If anybody watched earlier this week, you know exactly what it is. I bought Days of Thunder on the NES. You know, it's Days of Thunder. It goes well with my Cocktail and Top Gun Tom Cruise collection. Oh God, I wish there was a Cocktail game. I mean, I'm sure there's a game out there called Cocktail, but I'm guessing it's not about drinks. I should play Mystic Quest. Lady Foxheart, I will probably play that game here at some point. I will most likely do that game on the stream, just because I always blab about it, and I always joke about how it's the best Final Fantasy, mostly just to see who I can drive crazy with it. But it is actually a decent game. It is just a game for, it's a game for kids. Like it's a younger, much easier kind of RPG, but that's a good thing. We always talk about that game here. I also picked up Kirby's Dream Course, which we played here the other day. This is fun. This is probably more fun with multiple players, but we only had just me here. What do you think of collecting loose cartridges? Oh, I think collecting loose cartridges is fine. I don't like collecting loose disc-based games. But cartridges, yeah, I 100% go ahead and collect loose cartridges. I hear it's one of the games to help people. Yeah, if you're new to RPGs, it's a great introductory RPG. It has all the elements of an RPG, but it's scaled down in significance and scope, so it's easier to understand. And there's a dog barking outside, of course. I also picked up Eye of the Beholder for the Super Nintendo, because the ROM that I found on my SNES Classic doesn't work. So I bought this finally. We actually played it here. I played it with the Super Nintendo mouse. So I finally have a Super Nintendo mouse, which I have to be one of the few people in existence that owns a Super Nintendo mouse and does not own Mario Paint, because I bought the mouse separately. I managed to get a while back boxing complete. Oh, nice. Copy of Zelda 1 for a good price. Nice. They also included a plastic case to put everything in. Oh, you have the protective boxes for the box. Yeah, I have a batch of those for my Super Nintendo game. I need to order another wave of them. Beholder, the Beholder. Or Behold the Beholder. So is this still a game or more bordering on a tech demo? Elements. You mean Mystic Quest? Mystic Quest it's a full game. It's got a good story, nice music. If finding the original case is impossible for me for a disc game, I just print out. Yeah. I prefer to collect the cases for disc games. I have the Eye of the Beholder on the GBA. I need to look that up. I didn't know that was a thing, so I need to check that out. I still have absolutely no idea what that is. Eye of the Beholder is a Dungeons and Dragons point and click game. Yeah, we need to get you to brush up on some basic D&D rules and spells to get elements. I see the problem with brushing up on the rules is that if I brush up on the rules, it's going to be the 5th edition rules, and I'm almost 100% sure that game came out before 2014, which I think is when 5th edition was released. Mystic Quest. Yeah, Mystic Quest. Mystic Quest it's a full game. It's a full game. It doesn't feel like just a demo or anything like that. You will be happy to know that I did order the player's manual for 5th edition. So I do have the player's manual coming in the mail. October 4th. There's a comic shop not super far from me. They're hosting basically like a training night. They're going to do, if you haven't played in a long time and maybe you're new to 5th edition, or if you've never played D&D, they're hosting a night there where I think it's $5, and you need dice, you need a set of dice, which I already have, and you need the player's handbook, which I'm pretty sure they're trying to sell, they get you to buy when you're there, but I already have one. And then that's it, and it's stuff to write with, and then they're gonna run you through a game and they're gonna teach you how to play the game. So I'm very excited to finally try that out. I have the Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and Dungeon Master's Guide for third or 3.5 edition. Yeah, see, I'm interested in the 5th edition, the current one that's out. But what do you do? Would you do an original RPG story, or would you make up your own? Rox, since I'm new to it, I would just go along with the story. I mean, for the comic book shop, they're going to have their own stories. For now, I would just go along with the story. The thing is, since I've never played the game, I've watched plenty of videos about the game, and watched videos of people playing the game. I have some understanding of what everything is, but I don't understand the intricacies of making a story. You know, writing a story, creating a scenario, making sure I understand how the storytelling works, what I have control over and what I don't have control over. When I have a better understanding of that, I actually think I might really enjoy being a dungeon master. I think I have a strong sensation that I will enjoy the idea of telling whatever story I feel like writing. And Latimer, the Monster Manual for 5th edition is something I wanted to buy. I was considering buying that even before the Player's Handbook, just because I thought the monsters were cool and the artwork was cool. Is it a Bedrock comic book? No, it's Showcase or something like that. Tales from D&D coming soon. Oh, we could do a Tales from D&D here. One I spent like $350 on 50 of the. Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're getting a lot of stories. Yeah, as a newbie playing one of the pre-made campaigns. I have the Lost Mines of Phandelver. I have the starter set, basically. It's the D&D starter set. That's why I have dice. I have it. No one wants to play it. I've brought it to conventions. No one ever wants to play it, or no one wants to be the DM. And I can't be DM. I've never played the game before. So I have brought it to multiple conventions and brought it back home from multiple conventions. If you ever DM an online campaign, I'd love to be a player. We'll talk, Lady Fox, because at some I want to be on. I want to play the game as much as I can for a little while and see. You know, I need to get experience. We might have to. You guys might have to DM and invite me. D&D is one of those things they can't get into. Now, let me ask Spectre, how much have you tried to get into it? Because I've heard people say, I don't think I could play D&D, and then they've never actually tried it. All they've ever seen of D&D, and I'll admit, for a while I was like that too. All they've ever seen of D&D are negative portrayals on television. You know, it's the cliche of the giant nerd who does nothing with his life but play D&D, and it's like, if you play video games, if you watch Twitch streams, other people probably look at you the same exact way. They probably think, oh, that guy doesn't do anything but sit around and do that stuff all day. Making a story can be stressful depending on who your players are. I guess you got to know your audience with that when it comes to that. D&D is best learned by having someone to show you the ropes. And as the rules are a lot like all tabletop games, learning on the and E0, and I understand that. The problem is finding someone to initially start, because a lot of people don't mind helping you out as you go, but I have a hard time finding people who like to start someone from the beginning. They want somebody who has a basic knowledge. That's why I watch so many videos on it, because I want to get there. And when they say you enter a room and there's some barrels and stuff around, I want to know that I have to say, all right, I do a perception check. You know, I don't want to say, well, I look around. You know, I want to know some idea of what to do. If there's a guard and I want to walk up to the guard is going to stop us, and I want to walk up to the guard and put my elbow on his shoulder and say, listen, why don't you just let us go? You know, maybe you could try that instead. I want to know that I need charisma in order to do that. If you DM, can I join? I always wanted to try D&D. Yeah, Rocks, that'll be down the line, but probably, yeah. Sean tried DMing a campaign with a few of us, but we just couldn't get to. That's a big problem. We couldn't get together. The scheduling conflicts. Playing more homebrew campaign rather than books, but we follow the rule. Yeah, well, Lady Foxheart, that's how most people write the homebrew campaigns, is that they use the books as guides so that everybody understand. You know, I would think that it's easier to say, all right, I wrote this homebrew story, but the rules in your player's handbook and the monster rules in the monster manual, they are what's set, so that everybody knows, so that people aren't going, well, how does the monster do that? And it's like you just made up a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, essentially, it's all made up, but sometimes the curse of your warrior or bard has a sense of humor. I had to play D&D a while back for the first time when I was at a friend's house. I guess not when I think about it, but being that I do like creating stories, wanted to do a Zelda-based campaign. Twitch Uncle Silver plays D&D with the show. Oh my God, yeah, we could do that. Then the D&D would say roll for persuasion. Yeah, roll for persuasion. There you go. All right. I want to get into this topic because we've been talking about this for 20 minutes, and we could probably do an entire episode about hypothetical D&D D&D playing. Who knows? We may try something later. But my last two things from the convention before we get started on the topic. My last two things from the convention. This guy had a thing set up where you roll 5. Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, you roll 5 6-sided dice, and the highest and lowest, like 5 numbers that you could possibly get, because the highest you could get is 30, the lowest you can get is 5, and then all the numbers right around there. He had prizes assigned to them. Some of them were really good. Like if you rolled a 30, if you rolled all 6s, Valkyrie Profile for the PS1 was your prize. And then he had them right there so you could see them. If you roll 5, which is all 1s, he had Klonoa for the PS1, which is an expensive game. So I said, you know what, I'll give it a try. Why not? You know, it was like $5 a roll. So all right, I'll give it a try. So I roll, and I win the Legend of Zelda drink canteen. It's very cool. It's sized exactly like an NES cart. And let me open this up here. Yeah, it really wasn't a bad premise. And then everything in the middle, all of the numbers that were in the middle there were prizes, but it was like a random N64 game, a random Xbox game. But yeah, this is it. Like, how cool is that? And then this opens up, and then there's actually a straw. It comes with the straw in here to drink. And then, yeah, it's a drink canteen. Like, this is so cool. My plan is to fill it with vodka and then leave it on my NES shelf for those days when I desperately need a drink. Yeah. There you go, Elements. Now people will just think I'm a massive nerd instead of a raging alcoholic. Look, it even comes with a sleeve. It even comes with the sweet-looking Nintendo sleeve. Like, how cool is that? Take that, Hydrate Bot. Don't put it in the NES. So I came back a couple days later, and because this was, well, a couple days later, the next day, because that was Saturday. So Sunday I came back and I passed by. We were doing a quick run through of the convention one last time before we left, and I said, you know what, I'll roll again. There were some other people rolling, so I said I'll roll again. I got I don't know, it was like a 16 or a 17. It was a random N64 game. So I pulled. He keeps the stack like this, so you can't see what game it is. So I pull, he's got a stack of them, and I pull the game out. Let me show you that again. I went years actively avoiding owning that game. And now it was when I let my guard down, it was thrust upon me. It was funny because the other people that were hanging around, they were cracking up, and I looked at the guy with like a half smile on my face, and I'm like, I thought there were no losing numbers. And he just starts laughing. Yeah, I may have rolled a 13. Thrust. Yeah, apparently there is no escaping Superman 64. But yeah, that was my convention pickup. I wasn't really planning on buying a whole lot of stuff there.